This is the big one. Here we go. Hello and welcome to a race for the 106th running of the Indianapolis 500. The greatest spectacle in racing according to themselves. In my opinion, it's the Le Mans 24, but we won't go into that. Yes, this is the big one. The entire month of May has been one big build-up to this. In fact, we've had 2 whole weeks of practice, qualifying, pit stop challenges, media, massive shows, whatever you want, has been leading up to one race, the Indy 500. The track, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, is different as far as ovals go because it has 4 actual individual corners. Rather than 1 and 2 being essentially the same corner, this has individual corners with short chutes between them and 2 massive straightaways. I think they said 5/8 of a mile, so that's pretty long as far as ovals in America go. So it's a big track, big stage, but it only has 9 degrees of banking, which is basically flat when you're running at plus 200. So it's crazy race, crazy track. I'm really excited. Onto the cars. So the cars are running their oval package, which have smaller front wings and smaller rear wings that make them look really sleek. It does look cool, particularly the new aero package. The 2017 one that we're using still looks quite bulky, but the new one just looks so clean. I really like it. They also have obviously specific tyres because the normal, if you run road course tyres, as they say in America, they wouldn't stand up to it. And obviously each track has its own individual compound like F1, but they take it a step further because I think, their tracks are so different over there. Tyres would just shred at one or not grip at another. So individual tyres. The front and rears, as people know in F1, are usually different on Formula cars, but for Indy ovals, they have a bigger right rear compared to left rear, because if you think about it, you're always turning left on a bank. If you had the same tyre, it's not going to grip as much, it's going to wear different, it's all going to be a bit of a meltdown. So they have this different sizes on the left and right. It's kind of crazy if you think of it as an F1 fan or a touring car fan like me, but you've got to make it work somehow. They also have a setup which means that the cars down the straight, the steering wheel will be off to the right, kind of at that angle, just because I think it's something to do with the setup as it goes into the turns, because if you didn't have that, it wouldn't turn in properly. Also, I think the wheel setting, you don't want to have to be doing that through corners. It's a whole combination of it. I don't really know. I'm not an IndyCar engineer, so I wouldn't know, but that is kind of the gist of why it happens, I think. But anyway, for us it means that you're steering like that going straight, and it's a bit weird. So the grid for this race is set by a 4-lap average speed. That is how they do it. It works, I guess. I mean, 4 laps average is a long time. You've got to be consistently on it, particularly at the speeds they're doing. Poleman is Scott Dixon, and he did a pole lap speed average, this is, bear in mind, over 4 laps, of 234 miles per hour. F1 cars don't even reach that speed on the longest straight on the calendar. That is ridiculous as an average. That means, through the corners, he must have been doing at least 220 or 215, something ridiculous. That's crazy. How do you even manage to put that together for 4 laps? I don't understand. And our front row did 234, 233, 233. So that is a ridiculous high speed. I think they said it was something like the highest average speed for the top 3 for the first row of the 500 ever. It's crazy. So there is our poleman, Scott Dixon, right at the front. Moving back to row 3, and we find a familiar face, Romain Grosjean. He's starting on the far outside, and just to bear in mind that IndyCar, for the Indy 500, you line up in rows of 3 just to add to the insanity. You're diving down into turn 1, essentially 3 wide. moving back again to row 4, we have a big row for names. Takuma Sato starts on the inside. In the middle, we have our championship leader, Will Power. And on the outside, NASCAR's 7-time champion, Jimmy Johnson, in his first ever Indy 500. He's been really good, actually, for his first event. He seems to be really strong at speed on the big stage. He did an incredible save in practice that will be rivaled with Colton Herder's Indy GP save for save of the season. So he's looking pretty good. Let's hope he can do well on his debut. Be nice for him to finally get a good result in IndyCar. Back again, we move down to row 9, right towards the back of the field. It is a 33 car field, 11 rows. So row 9, we have a man who is going for a record 5th Indy 500 win. Currently 4 men sit on 4, and one of those is Helio Castroneves. He starts from the outside of row 9. It's going to be a tough ask for him to get up to the front and win it, but if he does, it will be a record. And honestly, 200 laps of this track is a long time to make something happen, and I reckon if anyone can, he can. He's got the experience. He won last year as well. Got the momentum. He should be good. Inside of him starts my favourite driver, middle of row 9, Scott McLaughlin. He's been okay, I guess, but he's had a massive drop-off in form, but he still sits 3rd in the standings. And inside him starts Colton Herter. He still doesn't have as many points as I would expect from him at this point in the season, so we'll see what he can do. So row 9, another row to watch. Row 10, on the outside of row 10, just avoiding the final row of the grid, the legend, Juan Pablo Montoya, racing for Arrow McLaren SP in a 3rd entry for them. Disappointed he's not further up, but he's getting a bit old now, so maybe to be expected. But that is the grid, apart from if you are looking for some Brits to watch, they're starting second last and last. So I'm not holding out much hope. But anything can happen. As I mentioned, 200 laps of this oval is a very long time. So the winner is awarded not just a beautiful trophy, but also a bottle of milk of their choice. Everyone's made their selections through the beginning of May, so they get whatever kind of milk they want in this bottle. They also have to kiss the bricks. The yard of bricks makes up the start-finish line at this track, and I mean, it's a tradition. Whoever came up with it was a brave person and clearly did not care about hygiene. So that's it. That is the Indy 500. We are going to go racing on Project Cars 2 in our normal number 3 Penske bright yellow Pennzoil sponsored machine, and it will probably go terribly. We're only going to do 5 laps because I won't survive anymore, but we're going to see what happens. So, adios. Okay, so here we go then. Lining up 3 wide. Only 32 cars for us, unfortunately, because that's the maximum I could have. But here we go. Green flag. 5 laps of Indianapolis for us. Oh, it's going to all bunch up. Slow starting AI as usual. Not going to be able to find a way through any outside quite yet. Might try and make it 4 wide through turn 1 because, why not? It's a video game, we can. Not quite got the speed just yet, but there might be an opening down here for us. Everyone's starting to bunch up. Going to go round the high side. A lot of wheel work trying to make this work. He's in the wall. Big avoiding action, but we made it stick all the way down to the grass. Made another few places. Past the 18, who seems to have some front wing damage. Yep, he's missing half the front wing. Doing a little damage. 4th gear gives us 200 miles an hour and more. 3rd takes us up past 180. It's crazy speeds. a good lap for me around here will be if I keep it over 205 mile an hour for the whole lap, so that's kind of what I'm aiming to do. Up in 6th gear on lap 2, that's not bad for us. Oh, hit the Pertec car, got onto the grass down low, so that's going to be another position for us up high. Up into P16. I think that might even be the number 16 ahead. But so onto the back straight again. So you want to kind of not really lift too on the game anyway. You don't want to lift too much into the corners. Just feather the throttle a tiny little bit. Drop it down into like 4th gear. Probably 5th for guys who are actually good at this game. But for me, 4th. And then down the straights you want to at least get up to the top of 5th, maybe even 6th. A good lap. As you can see, the gear ratios down low are really, really long, and then you get up to the top and you don't even drop the lights. You should have constant lights on the wheel from 4th, 5th, 6th. Even if you change up, when the last light comes on, we're going to have to check up here. That is the number 16 that we're going to go down below. Send him in 16th place. We're about to put the 15th and 15th and the 14th and 14th if we get this right. How about that for a moment? Right, completely messed up that corner. We got in a bit too tight. We're going to try and go around the outside of the number 14 into turn 4. That's a brave move. In real life probably wouldn't work, but the game isn't real life, so we made it stick. That's the Rossi car ahead. BP starting towards the middle of the pack today. Oh, 2 cars on the dirt down low. Rossi's coming up to meet us. Forced me to get up the throttle and the car just completely snapped sideways. Kept it facing mostly the right direction though. Now you can see what I mean about down the straight where the wheel position is. Just off to the side there. Not quite as much as I thought it would be, but... Oh, everybody checking up. The rear end snaps loose again. Into turn 3. Around the outside of turn 4 we go. Picking up more spots inside the top 10 now. But the 63's just got a smack from the number 4. I don't know how we avoided them there. That was some massive evasive action. Go to the outside of the 4, cross the yard of bricks again, onto the final lap. Going on the high side. More back markers ahead to cause trouble. This is going to be intense. We may even get a win here if we keep it pinned. All the way around the outside of some more. Into P5 now. Top 5 would be good, but we want more. Up into P4, another lovely move on the exit of turn 2. Down the back straight for the final time. Up into 5th, 220 mile an hour. Turning in completely flat. Turning in flat again, trying to get it down to the apex. At least in one corner of the entire race. We're not going to make it onto the podium, I don't think. Just too far to get the slipstream. P4s is what it's going to be. As we cross to take the checkers. But not bad from P32. All the dirt from the people getting too far down the racetrack. That's a pretty good race. So that is a race for the 106th running of the Indianapolis 500. It was exciting. It was short. But we survived it with no damage, which, you know, I wasn't really expecting. So I'm now going to try and get into pit lane, which should be entertaining. More dirt down there, quite eventful. Not so many crashes as I had in some of the races I did for fun earlier. They were crashing left, right and centre of those. Oh! Get the pit lane! Well, that's disappointing. Hopefully the recording ended before... No, I don't think it did. Wow. thank you very much for watching if you made it this far. And I will see you all next time.